stuff, some of the crimes that have been going on and what's been done about it, and how we're progressing forward with our watch program. We'll have a brief questions and answers session, and then we'll move on. I have a guest from PBC, or Palm Beach County EOC, and they're going to talk to us about preparedness and the upcoming storms and what we can do to better help ourselves ahead of time. So what we'll do first, we'll start out with you, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Ferrante.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's the first time I'm doing this, so I had to get with the analyst and just get some stats for you guys together. You guys have any questions before I go over this?
Could you just turn the mic up a little bit, please?
This is it's like a sprinkler. It comes up strong this way, and then you'll get a little bit now and a little bit later. Just to go over some stats, Palm Beach County all over has been getting hit so hard with vehicle burglaries lately. 90% of them and up are people leaving their vehicles unlocked. Kids will get dropped off. They start walking around the area. They start checking door handles. If the door's open, they go in, and if there's any valuables, they'll take them. They'll rummage through the car. The only other thing we've been having is when you're smashing windows, if you leave something of value on the seat that they can see, they're going to use an automatic center punch, but you will never hear. They're not going to smash it. They're going to pop it, and they're going to steal it. In this area alone, and then we got stolen vehicles. The majority of those are from people leaving keys in them. For instance, 2 people will park their car. One of them will have the key to this car because in case this one locks their keys out, they want to be able to go in and get the key and open it up. So thieves, they open up the car, they find the key, and some of them don't have to be detectives. They can look at it and say, hey, this is a Toyota key, and look at that, that's a Toyota right next to me. Let me see if it fits. And that's how most of the stolen vehicles are happening.
Have you been able to catch any of them?
We've been catching a lot of people. We catch 3 and 4 more pop up.
Do you find any or more from our town, or they're coming from out of town?
Most of them are coming from out of town. Most of them are juveniles. We're working with the state attorney's office right now, trying to come up with some system, because as soon as we lock them up, they're getting out. And they're doing the same thing again. We've arrested the same kids several times in stolen vehicles again. So biggest thing is make sure you lock your cars, don't put anything of value in them, don't leave any keys in them. I mean, you would think that's common sense advice, but it's not common. It's not common at all. In this area right here, since January, there have been 7 vehicle burglaries. All 7 of them had the doors left open. Out of those, we've already made 2 arrests, which cleared up a few of them. We got a very impressive detective bureau, I got to say. We clear up probably 40% of our cases. Nationwide is 18%, 16 to 18% clearance rate for property crimes. Our guys they're incredible. 40% they average. So they're catching a lot of people. We've had 1 residential burglary where the slider was left unlocked, possibly acquaintance related. Most of those are. We haven't really been seeing a lot of residential burglaries lately. It's all vehicle. During the summer, they will pick up though, because that's when kids are out of school. So just be mindful of that. And we had 1 vehicle theft since January, which was the vehicle was left unlocked and the key was left inside of it. Other than that, we had some identity theft cases, which that can happen anywhere, not just here. We have been in this neighborhood a lot. Deputies have done 2,235 residential checks since January.
Is that more than normal? Are you here more than normal because of the crimes?
We're actually in neighborhoods a lot more than people think we are. Just because you don't see them, it's all about timing. You can turn your head, we'll drive by and you won't even know it. But we're everywhere in all of these neighborhoods. We're hitting them hard. Our guys are always in there. Um, like I said, it's all about timing, whether you see them or not. I don't know what the average is, but I can guarantee it's still over a couple of thousand times.
What does that mean? What is it when you drove
Residential
through, or-
check means what they'll do is it's called a 1061, it's a residential or business check. They'll come in, they'll say, show me, they'll actually do it self-initiated on their computer, and they'll drive around. This residential check could take, this whole neighborhood could take 15, 20 minutes.
This is a big neighborhood.
Yeah.
Big neighborhood.
That's in addition to normal patrols, or that is
Yes,
the normal?
no, that's in addition to, for instance, calls for service, meaning that calls that, you know, the folks that live here made was 204 calls for service where the public called us to respond for some incident, whether it's a neighbor problem or noise or what have you. Total calls for service are 2,652. Of those, like I said, 2,200 change are just coming in here and doing residential checks. Then we had what was the rest of that? Oh, we had 76 traffic stops in the area. Neighborhoods like this, if you run a stop sign, it's kind of blatant. It's kind of hard to pace clock people. So that's actually a good amount of traffic stops in a neighborhood, because it's hard to pull people over unless there's a tail light out, or they blow through a stop sign, or something that's you can actually see instead of unless you run radar. Other than that, you guys have anything for me?
Is there a way that, I know it's difficult to do more traffic enforcement on individual locals like that street? Or instead of just going by the roundabout or by the fire station, come into the neighborhood, sit in someone's driveway even. In my street, I'm in the middle and they hit full speed at the
Yeah,
middle.
we do that in a lot of neighborhoods. We do it in La Mancha. I'm sure we do it here. But you spend 10, 15 minutes, there's no traffic, you leave, we leave, all of a sudden somebody speeds by. You'd have to stay in a place all day.
Not my street.
Yeah, well,
You get a bunch.
it's not, like I said, we can send people in more, but that's not necessarily mean you're gonna get more tickets.
And from a speed standpoint, I'll tell you, most of these pods, so to say, they're not big lengths. So pace clocking isn't gonna work. Radar and laser are gonna be super hard. I can't just sit there and target a car. I have to visually see how fast it's going and say, oh yeah, he's doing more than 25. Then I gotta get my equipment, hit it, or activate a radar, which isn't just a hit of a button. So by that, they're already long gone. So speed is super hard, but if you want to give us an address, we can come drive through and try to see if we can get something other to try to get them to slow down, just seeing a car. That may be an option.
It's just frustrating when you're out there working in the yard and these people just blow by and, they give you the bird as they go by, you go like this and they just.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah. On these bigger stretches, that's why you see us at the roundabout or up at the fire station or back here on Grandview, because it's a longer stretch. We can actually do speed. But on the smaller residential blocks, it is near impossible to get anything that's going to be substantial, especially to hold up in court or anything like that.
The judge will ask, in the statute, you have to visually look at it, you have to come up with an approximation, like you said, then you use your laser or radar to verify what your visual observation was.
I appreciate the explanation because no one's ever explained it like that before.
Yeah.
We got a lot of tools, but there's a lot of things we have to follow. That's why, we lock people up. Oh, they're out again. Well, we do our job. State attorney does their job. Unfortunately, there's so many rules that help the criminals that, we have to follow the rules and they don't, unfortunately. We have to play the game correctly and they can do whatever they want. And it shows when stuff keeps happening. Like I said, we lock people up, they get right back out again. And it's the same people all the time that are stealing. But the best thing is, be nosy. If you feel that something doesn't look right, just call us.
I have a question about, are in this area, are they allowed to do solicitation? Because people people are knocking on my door at all, usually during this time of day. And not only does it piss me off because it's 2018, and if I wanted to find something about solar panels, I would just use my phone or the internet. Not to disturb me at my house. But what really pisses me off is that they don't look like the guy that I was dealing with the other day doesn't look like somebody who's selling solar panels. It looks like someone that's casing, you know what I mean, or just testing the neighborhood.
Of course. Yeah, that's more of a code enforcement. That's a city, a village thing. You'd have to
I
ask.
will tell you that they are supposed to have a permit to solicit. So, my wife will tell you, they come to our door, that's the first thing I tell them, do you have a permit, oh, well, we're not soliciting, well, I'm not interested, so, but, that's the rule, that they're not supposed to be solicited.
But does the sheriff's office enforce that, or does the village have to enforce that?
Is it part of our ordinance?
From experience, I know in like La Mancha, they'll come out, they've got their polos, they've got name tags, they have business cards. We'll go out and we'll check out with them, we'll make sure they're legit, and we'll let them know, hey, you need to contact the village and make sure you get a solicitation permit. And then most of them will be like, okay, no problem, and they leave. We don't have any issues from there on. I know it's the same thing in Wellington, it's hurricane season, so they're gonna come out for windows, shutters, roofs, everything. So give us a call, we'll go and check to make sure they're legitimate, and we'll let them know what they need to do, and usually they'll leave the area until they can get that paperwork.
I usually ask them, do you have a permit? And most of them don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then I'll
And
say,
from the same
well,
standpoint, we'll run them, we'll make sure they're from the area or not, and guess what? If we do have a break-in because you said he looks sketchy, he's not in a uniform or anything like that, we have a record of him. So we'll have somebody to start looking at.
well, I always tell them, well, I think you need to go to the village, call and get a permit. I'm going to report you. My security camera has your identification, so they will be expecting you. And with that, they go away and don't come back.
But like most of your concerns are, this is the season when we start getting storms, you can get gypsies to come down, and they'll take advantage of you. So the best thing you can do is just call us. We'll check them out. It's on record, like she says. We can do a field interview report on them or what have you. We know who they are now. If something does come up, at least we have something to follow up on.
Any other questions for the sheriff's department?
No more concerns? No? Okay. Well, I can't emphasize enough though, if something makes you feel uncomfortable, somebody's in the area, just give us a call. Well, we will always come out and look into it. If it's nothing, it's nothing. If it's something, hey, gives us something for our detectives to follow up on.
I had my alarm go off when I was at work, and you guys beat me here, so I do appreciate that.
Are you finding it easier to make some of these arrests because more people have security cameras now?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yes. That's the best investment you can make. It's better than basically an alarm.
Yeah. If you
really
can't
is.
afford a camera, like the whole system, those Ring doorbells, that is awesome as well.
But those are really easy to hack though, too.
Well, anything that's not hardwired is, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know.
But most of the people aren't gonna
Yeah.
hack them. They're kids. They're gonna come up, knock on your door.
Not that those people are, but other hackers.
Oh, yeah.
What do you aim for on a response time on a call, especially when it's after 4:30 and the substation is closed, so it's routed to gun club, and then they give you a buzz? Do you aim for a certain time?
No, it's not like that. Whenever you call, it automatically goes to gun club, all the time. Our dispatch is out of gun club. We have no dispatch here.
Okay.
You're gonna get the same response time regardless.
So is there a target that you guys as officers aim for, or is it just
As soon as
whenever
we get
you
the call,
there?
we're on it. I mean, this village is small enough where we can, like you said, we got there before he did. And it depends on how busy it is. It depends on what the call is. If all of a sudden something comes out where we're just swamped with serious calls, and if an alarm call comes out, it's gonna be a while till we get there. But if another serious call comes out, we're gonna do what we need to do, either draw from other districts to respond.
We're not hearing much about the bike kids anymore. Is
No.
that something you guys focused on, or did it
We
just go away?
had a little talk with them.
Yeah, I heard one last night actually.
They're having trouble in West Palm now, but they may
It's
be
the same,
moved
it's the
here.
same kids.
Yeah, downtown West Palm is being really inundated.
Yeah. Well, they better be careful down there because you go 1 or 2 blocks south of, downtown, and you're gonna have some big problems.
They're around Trump Plaza now, they're getting.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any information on what they said today about texting 911?
I remember when dispatch was trying it out, some of us they had told us about it, but I didn't see the news yet. I literally
Yeah,
just
it's
woke
out
up
there
and
now.
came to work, so I haven't seen anything on it yet.
Wow.
But I do know it's
Very easy to
legitimate,
have
so you
officers
can now
that
text
tell you anything
911.
about it. Not that, I mean, you're not the people dispatching us, but.
We also have an app. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. If you download the app, you can send stuff in, not necessarily more priority calls, domestic, stuff like that. But if you see somebody in the area and you want to check them out, you don't feel like picking up the phone, I know you can do it through that. Parking issues have come in on it. I'm not sure what else,
Well,
but
when you text 911, you gotta make sure you give your address, they've given all kinds of.
that all
stuff.
comes from your, if not, your phone record will have it. So,
Pretty well.
I don't know when the go live date is, so.
I'm telling you, she said you can now do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it released today as well, so.
I'll ask one of the dispatchers.
And what's the app?
Ours is Connect and Protect. I believe if you just type in PBSO, it comes right up.
Yeah. It's actually pretty useful.
Yeah, Palm Beach County
Yeah,
Sheriff's
just the
Office
PBSO
comes
one?
right up. We actually have 2 apps out there right now, but it's the first one that comes up. Yeah, that one.
And there's this one too.
Yeah, that's the, I've never seen that one. I just have these 2.
There isn't any app that shows current calls, is there? Or any website or anything that shows, when
I don't
helicopter
think
flying
so, 'cause
over,
that's probably
everybody's
a
asking about it, you go to some
security
website and say, yeah, there was a stolen car, and
Oh,
we're chasing it.
no. But that could be anything. It could be a lost kid, it could be a lost elderly person.
But that's when that happens,
There is-
100
there
people
is
are
like a
commenting on
crime news
Facebook
type
about it,
thing,
and
but
no
it's
one
not
knows what's
live.
happening.
Yeah. If you
It's
go on,
a live thing would be a security issue, I would think.
yeah.
You can get a delayed one.
Yeah, if you go on our actual website, PBSO website, there's a crime view on there. You can go in there and put in your address and stuff, and it will show you the crime in that area. But like she says, everything's delayed. We can't have you being able to go on there and looking right now what we're doing, because if you're a bad guy, you could say, oh, I better run this way, instead of, they're looking for me over
We've
here.
been doing it for 100 years with police scanners the same way,
Well, you
right?
can't do it anymore, because they're all encoded now, encrypted.
But it is a way for the public to at least know what's going on in their neighborhood.
Yeah. Anything else?
All right, awesome. Well, thank you guys. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us.
everything you do.
All right. Need anything, give me a call.
I certainly will. Thank you.